Okay, g'day traders. Welcome to Trade the Structure. What I'm going to do now is we're going to record a live session and see how it goes on the Hang Seng. So I enjoy trading the Hang Seng indices. Been doing that for quite a while, so I thought I'd just lob out a live session and we'll just go through generally the open. I think most of the action lately has been in the opening drive. So when you go through that, it opens at about 10 minutes or so, just under, and then the index opens 15 minutes after that. So probably about 35 minutes or so, the index will actually open. So we'll see if we can get some trades off. I'll just go through the levels prior, just to the open, what levels we're looking at, where we expect the action to be. So to start with, I'm just going to go through, these are what my trading style is based around at the moment and where I look for trades. Okay, so this was yesterday's action. We had that opening drive down. This is a 5-minute chart on the left and a 1 minute on the right. I was just taking a snapshot. But yeah, you can see that opening drive really powered down. There was actually a support zone. I've marked it up on the 1, but I didn't mark it up on this 5 for whatever reason. But you can see it drove down. So all I'm really looking to do is I want to go with momentum. So momentum on the 5, and I'm looking really for setups and so the entry setups on the 1 minute chart because it gives you more detail. So we've got this open market, opened at 12:15. Well, it's Sydney time, powered down. And you can see it just kept dropping. So it was really powerful. I mean, if you're looking at that 5 minute chart, probably tougher to get in. That's why you're looking at the 1 minute, just to refine your entries. Essentially, it's going to take 40 points risk on any trade and try to see if I can wean out of it, anywhere from 50 above. So I want to essentially 1-to-1 or above. Sometimes you got to cut it if it doesn't quite play out, if things don't work out. But yeah, essentially, I don't really want to take anything more than a 40-point hit on any trade. So you see I was trading this yesterday on the drive down. So you can see from the 5, it's quite clear. MACD is rolling. So MACD is, for me, is momentum. And you can see it's rolling down. So at this stage in the early first half an hour, 45 minutes of that, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's half, 40 minutes from open till that low was hit. Okay, so you can see that's pretty much is enough fat in that trade to go, to get short and pull out some good points. I didn't get the whole move down. But I got nabs at it. I sort of took some off on a spike, it bounced, and then I re-entered again, got some on the short. So not all of it, but probably netted 100 or so points all up, which was pretty good. Happy with that, even though it dropped probably about 250 or so. So you do, I mean, my style, I will be leaving some on the table, but the idea is to get on the right side with the momentum and try to lock in some gains when you can and manage your risk as you can as you go. So you can see that's, you've got confluence of both charts on the way down. I like to hold, but this is the 10 EMA. I've got a 10, a 20. I have got the 200 set up there and a 50. So I've got the 4. I don't technically use all 4, but it's mainly the 10. When it's trending, I find that it really sticks with that 10 EMA and drives. So as long as it's below there for a sell and above for a buy, that's how I'm trying to trade. I want to trade off the 1. I want to be below or above the EMAs for a buy or a sell. Okay, so in this case, it was a sell below the EMAs. I'm just looking for that. It's okay if it spikes into a level and then falls. It's just trapping some traders or flushing out some shorts, getting bias and confidence, and then slam down again. And I just continue to do that all day. And you can see it really stuck with that EMAs all the way down and right into that support. So I call it a bid to offer move, or offer to bid. So when it's up at sort of an offer zone or a resistance zone as such, and it wants to drive down to a bid zone, I call that offer to bid. And that's what it was yesterday. So if you're sort of halfway in between and it's starting, it's trending down, you could not bank on, but you could assume that it's going to go offer to bid. Okay, and reverse for a buy. And that's what it was yesterday. So that was one. The previous session I've just marked up as well. You can see that opening drive was just into a support, took out 1, took out some lows, and market will do that if it's around the support or an offer zone. It will tend to flush that level and pick the next level, especially if there's a level close. And that's what it did the prior day. Drove down the 5, only got 2 candles there, opened up, drove down, held, and then bounced. Okay, so you can see that I've got this little marked up, a little flush, and it's clear on the 1. So you've got any sellers that were selling in here just on the open of the index, which is at 12:30, it drove down. Okay, flushed them, trapped them, and then bounced straight back up. But what you've seen is the market holding below the 10 EMA, bounce up straight up and above it, and then start to consolidate above, and then you've got nice little flush again on the 1, and then started to lift again. So that's where I took a long. I think I took another long somewhere else, but yeah, I'm not quite sure at the moment. Anyway, that was I can't quite remember what I did there, but that was a definite long in there. And I think I sat through this first pullback and got out just up here into the EMA. It did fade after that, got a bit higher, but yeah, it had a bit of a pullback. And I think I actually took this long as well for that little spike. And as soon as it started reversing into that, what I was looking for was a double top. If it can't get through it, I'm anticipating that's going to be a double top. We call it an RTF. I call it an RTF retest fail. As soon as you get that first red candle, I bailed. So I didn't make a lot on that, but made something. So all in all, a good day. So that was the first one. You can see that, again, we're just trying to work off levels. You flush that level, you're trying to anticipate a bid to offer move, especially when you get these kind of setups and it starts on the one, starts to hold up in the NA. So you want to see what happens. It pumps up. That can easily dive back down from there. I think yesterday it actually did a few times. It was a bit choppy after that initial drive. On this action, I should just show you here. That action there is a bit choppy, so it still held and then ramped up. So that was kind of the same sort of ramp. It ramped up and then comes straight back down. You'd ideally want to be looking for the first pullback like this. Pull back, held, flush, go. Okay, so that was some more setups. Let's just get rid of, I want to set up now my charts for the day. All right, so okay, what I'll firstly do is just mark out some levels. So this is a 30-minute chart. Okay, I've got my key liquidity zones, which I'd like to call them, where it's traded before. I mean, if you're looking at market profile and things, it's easy enough to do it on the CFD. This will probably head up as quite a higher liquidity zone. I know center of control or point of control they call it. I think I just use the CFDs. I'm looking at that zone. You can see it's ticked off that zone a bit, so you know there's some resistance there. You know there's been some volume traded there. If something's going to spike into a level that's going to reverse, there's some liquidity coming to force it back down again. And it's done that quite a few times. So there's obviously a level there at say 24,650. The market's going to open in 1 minute, so I was trying to rush through this. Then we got another liquidity zone here. It's touched on it a few times, broke through, come back up here, reacted down off it. So maybe it's going to trade up into that zone soon, and we've just got a few others marked up. Now that's the 30-minute chart. I'll wick that down to a 5. I've just got the 5-minute chart. What I do is just mark up some highs and lows where the market, especially Hang Seng, likes to flush that level time and time again. Okay, so it's a good chance that if it's holding around here, we're going to flush up. Okay, we could take out that level. There you go. Just took that out. Probably take out this higher level, and we know there's going to be stops above that. Sellers might have their stops, resting orders above anything, which the market will tend to want to trap. And not only it could be resting buy orders to enter the market, or resting stop orders, which are buy orders as well, to buy on stop above the market, and the market will flush them and drop. Okay, not all the time, won't always drop, but that's the idea. On the open, the open will tend to wash, flush markets out, flush traders out. So that's just the 5-minute levels, which we'll be looking at as well. So I generally keep an eye on the 5-minute chart and trade on those swings, on those levels. I just have to move this down just to see if it look a good trade all the way up here, but I think that's a big effort. That's another couple hundred points. So I think this is a good flush. We definitely flushed at that level now. Back above that zone. Let's see if it fades. Okay, for me, the momentum's easing. It has been easing even on this rise, which could suggest a bit of a trap. What I'll be looking for is trap on the open and then potential dive, looking for a lower high, and then see if we can do something we did yesterday. We actually didn't really trap anyone. We just took a nosedive from the open, bang. We could flush that level and then start to fade back below it. If we fade back below it and hold a lower high, we're looking to squeeze out any of these shorts and any of these shorts that are trapped here. So it could be the start of a trap. We'll see. Otherwise, you want to see it, pump up, retest, hold. You want something like that. Okay, off the zone, and you're working bid to offer at 640. Okay, so a couple of hundred points potentially, whether it does that or not, but you've got a bit of fat in that. Even if it sort of ramps up and then stops short around the 500 mark, you could have 50 or 100 points up your sleeve if that plays out. Just change to a 1-minute chart. We'll see if you set it on stop there. So I do a bit of trading on the open too. So from that 12:15 to 12:30, that 15 minutes before the index opens, I like to see if we can set up a range and then see if we can get the market once it's established that range, flush either side. Okay, so we're looking at that just on 11, 12:30. See if we can get a trade off there. So for now, we'll just keep an eye on the 5 minute essentially. So at the moment, we've just got that high in play. So try to mark that up there. See what we get. Okay, so yeah, just bear with me. We'll actually take a look at the index. So to me, that 30-minute is fading. You can see that momentum. We've had these spikes up, you know, even into this resistance zone. It was running out of steam there. We had a bit of a fail here. We had a bit of a pop up. It opened up above this zone yesterday and then failed. That was that move, that initial drive down that we were talking about. And that failed. So don't know where the index is going to open, but if we start sort of open up in this region, it may flush again and drop. So we'll keep an eye on that on the open, and it's got these levels just below where it could easily, do the same thing, flush and ramp, flush and ramp. But generally, it's going to flush a level like that, like it did here in this green candle. Flush it on the open. When it opens down there, flush it and ramp. If it's a bit extended, which it was in that stage, you can see that momentum was down. Opens down here, takes out that level, traps some shorts potentially, and ramps back up again. Did the same thing over here. So I don't think it's going to open down. I actually think it's going to open up slightly. So we'll just see what happens on the upside. So it's probably going to show pre-open in a minute. So you can see the 5 minute. I mean, that open up, flush, ramp down, and it got bought up, failed here. That could easily, it could easily pop. You just never know with the Hang Seng. You don't assume a lot. You just pick your levels and you wait for that open, and then you see, okay, where is that drive going to be? Is it popped up above a resistance zone and then starting to fail because we know it's going to trap traders? Or is it going to do the same as a support? Is it sort of open in no man's land? If it's in no man's land, it's tougher to trade because it's an each way bet. Who's going to win, buyers or sellers? So we'll just wait and see. Okay, if I do pause, I'll come straight back to you when it starts to play it a bit better. So the index is looking to open right up here with that's, and if you put that into context, where it was trading, that was the open yesterday. It's going to open up above that. That's around, these highs. It's this high. So yeah, we just have to wait and see. Okay, just setting up the orders now for the open. .30 seconds there, so that's probably gone now. Just taking out the high. I don't necessarily want to be long here, so I'll probably cancel that one. We'll just move that one just below here. See if we get a flush down. So I wanted to see if you can take out this low and then give us, we've got it set at 30 points. So market's just open now. We've got the, if this takes too long, I won't bother with it. Actually, it's really not much action on the open, to be honest, on the Hang Seng. Normally it's nice and choppy, but at the moment it's looking like that's the index that's open up quite strong. So this could kick on. We'll just see if this starts to hold. So it doesn't flush down soon. That'll be it. I'm expecting a bit of a, at least an attempt at a gap close on the index, which would mean it's got quite a bit to fall, a couple hundred points easy, which means I'll get this order. It's just whether I can get a momentum trade on the downside. Doesn't kick off soon. All right, I'm just going long. This one's going to get cancelled because that's not going to happen. Just see if we can keep on a 1 minute chart. So going with momentum, you can see that the index has actually kicked off. I'm in at 99, so probably if it's 60, I think I'll take 5 off now. It's a 50 pointer. And I'll just be raising that risk to even now. Only because it's a good spike, and I do think it's stretched up here, the index for sure. And they can do that. They can drag in some stops, but if not, if this doesn't kick on, I'll probably get stopped out in that second 5. Just see how that goes. See that 5 is kicking off quite hard, so we know the 5 momentum's up. Look, it's extended, but if we can get a bit of a move, it may stall in no man's land. That's the only problem, because I do think it's extended on the you'll see here. That's the index. It's gapped up on the open, which is a hefty gap. And there, it's up 500 points, 2% at the moment. So, if this can keep driving home, good on it. Keep driving high, good on it. That's good for me because I'm long. So what I'll do is just be raising my. So I'll just tuck it in behind that candle there. If this is going to flush out, it's probably going to take out. We chop around here and we take out this candle. We're probably going to take it out low. And let's just lock in 20, another 20 on that. So up about 60 from 99, 399. Let's see if this can continue. Index looks pretty good still. Just plug it away nicely. So you go. So we bit of a pullback here. I'm not asking to do anything else. I'm just going to raise my stop to slightly higher. Just raise my stop low this candle here because, for me, if it's just going to flush that high, it's probably going to come down. If it's going to come down, a couple of red candles, we'll probably get a decent correction on the 5 minute as well. Okay, so I'd rather be on the sidelines reassessing. If it's a decent correction on that and it still wants to go up, you might have a good pullback reset and you'll see it on the 1 off the MAs, and then you're like, if it keeps going, we still got this candle's going to finish in a minute. So I'll just sit there and get my timers up. It's just finished, new candle. This can kick off. We're in for a good little move. So the early strategy, in hindsight, I was talking about, I want to see that opening range. And that opening range was at that 12.29 candle. The very next 1 minute candle popped down. So my entry should have been really, for 30 points, should have been through 77. Okay, by that 30 points, got that in the first minute. So that, it did work out, even though I cancelled it because I didn't quite like that just into that 12.29. But look, worked out fine. Okay, so that's another one of my strategies. And if you check out the website, tradethestructure.com, I've got some information up there, and you can jump in and have a look at that. It's under construction. So if you have any questions, email me at tradethestructure@gmail.com. You'll see it all on the website. So we're stalling a bit up here. You see the momentum now is fading on the 1, so we're either going to go sideways, and we may need to squeeze out some longs. Okay, so I want to take it off. I might just take off 3. Yep, take off 3, and I'll just leave 2 running. See how we go. 399 to 48, 49 points on 5. to 52, only a few more points. And then, I got a feeling we get done on this. You can see if we can't get up here, we probably need a probe lower. So what am I at the moment? 430. So it's a really good open. We're up 500 points on the Hang Seng. It's a good, strong open. So I just holding in there. I mean, we're still with the MAs. Just seems to be a bit of back and fill here. Oh, I'm going to get tagged. Maybe get 30. Hanging in there. And we're still in there. See some divergence too. We've got, that's what you see on the one I'll be out now. So just teasing. There you go, done. All right, so that's all over now. What we've got, you can see, is some divergence here. I like to look at MACD. So it's running at a puff up here, which I'm suggesting could have just trapped some longs and squeeze them. So we're sort of in between these areas now on the index. It's a minor level here, not major, it's just opened up and ramped up off there. It's closed this gap in here on the index back to this zone, which you'll see, draw that up, back to here, which is what, 24,510. Close that gap. I mean, it could keep going. You're starting to ask a lot from the index. It's up 500 on, the markets are generally negative at the moment. They're pretty choppy. To be up 500 and keep going in one session is a big ask. So yeah, it could happen, but you're asking the market to be stretched and go more stretched if you're going to get long up here. So that's why I'm happy to be out. I'll reassess. The market's actually popped up slightly again. Okay, it's about to close that candle in about 30 seconds or so. Whether it just finishes up into new highs or not, closed up in new highs could mean, okay, we get a follow through. The 1 minute kind of says that the trend is still up at the moment, but the momentum's fading. Doesn't mean anything. Momentum can fade. It can keep going, grinding higher. If we want to go short, ideally I want this one to be rolling. I want to look on the shoulder. I want, let's just draw it up here. I want something to, come down up on that kind of action. I want to work off this shoulder because that there could be a pullback. It's just a pullback, and everyone's looking at it as a pullback, and your longs are still holding. As soon as it pops up and starts to fade at a lower level, sellers are coming in at a lower level, and then that means to me and everyone else, I would assume, that there could be a deeper correction, and that's where you could get short. We could get this fading. I mean, not so much on this 5 minute chart, but you're looking at on the one, and you want it ideally below the 10 EMA. Well, that's the way I trade anyway. At the moment, it's still looking like it's bouncing. You can see it's bouncing off the EMA, still holding. So for now, off that one, you should be long, even though it's running out of steam, in my opinion. Today, it didn't take my normal opening strategy, the opening drive. I took the opening drive strategy, or opening drive play, you could call it. Got a few points out of that. I think it was net, somewhere around 50 all up on 10. So yeah, it was a handy little gain. Didn't take just through, I really should have taken that breakout. So what I'm really looking for is that range to establish and then breaking out, get the range, get a bit of a pop. Just even if the very minimum, looking for stops, hunting stops. Any sellers, just squeezing them out because sellers have to buy into the market. You're trying to take that initial drive. What I'm trying to read into the MACD, the momentum, the trend is up, but is it fading? You're going to run out of momentum sooner or later, and it's whether the market wants to then drive down and start to clean out all these longs built up. Okay, so that'll be the name of the game going forward. So at the moment, I won't be getting long. I don't think. I think it's a kind of a risky move in an extended market. Yeah, it could play out, but I don't think it's a high probability setup. So for now, to be looking to see if there could be some play on the downside back below this level. And like I say, even though it's gone off at a bid, generally you're looking for off at a bid moves. in this kind of scenario, if it's getting stretched and starting to fade, it could just stall mid-range. Doesn't matter. It could stall there and just start to squeeze everyone out that's wanting to go long and wanting to push this high. Okay, so that's it. I'll call it a day. Thanks for joining me. Any questions, shoot us an email to tradethestructure@gmail.com. Check out the website. All right, guys. Cheers. Speak to you soon.